Gucci.
All right, we're here. Power rankings time. Um, it's me, Quinn, the best. I'm here with Toth.
Yo.
I'm here with Murray,
Hello.
and I'm here with the special guest, the champion of season 8,
Hi.
SFJ.
Hi.
We are going to do the Eevee League power rankings first because they are the A League, if you want to say that. I'm not saying that the B League is bad, but
League. I am. The RBL League.
Eevee League is our premier league, if you will. But we're gonna go right into the first team because this is gonna be long no matter what we do. So we're gonna go to the first team, the 12th rated team. Each team, of course, was voted by our lovely coaches and mods and SFJ. So the way it was determined is basically the average of each team's votes. So the points were then averaged out, and the person with the lowest average is the highest seed, and the person with the highest average is the worst. So that's how it works. That was a horrible explanation, but it works.
It was good enough.
All right, we're
There
gonna go
were
into we're gonna go into number 12. And number 12 is the Kentucky Crowbats, coached by good old Zach Semeraro, with a 9.1 average, which, being the 12th team overall with a 9.1 average, is pretty good.
Yeah, I think all of the teams in Eevee, at least, were fairly close. There were clear front runners, but when we get to Pikachu, you'll understand more.
there's a 12 team in Pikachu.
Yeah.
Comparison has an average of 11.1. It shows just how much proved even the worst team is in. Well, I don't think there's the worst team in Eevee. Just happened to be that way.
Yeah.
Proved the worst team in Eevee is compared to the worst team in Pikachu.
Yeah.
So it's not a horrible team overall, but it very much looks like a sixth gen team. Like
Which
there's
isn't
nothing.
That's not a surprise, seeing as Zach is not a 7th gen player. It's also a very big Zach team. Any team with Kangaskhan is a Zach team. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
he
one thing,
he didn't pick horrible Z
one
move
th-
users, which is a good thing because that's something that I
for
really
that
I take.
I
If you pick the worst, like they're not the best options, but at least they're not the worst things he could have picked. At least he didn't pick like Muck and Kangaskhan as his Z move users.
I beg to differ. I feel like since we allow Omni boosting, Z Shaman would have been the best because I'm pretty sure Shaman gets Celebrate or Happy Hour or something
I mean,
like
I
that.
I think Shaman would have been a better choice, but I don't think that
Even
there's
even
anything.
without it, I feel like it. Like I feel that would have improved his team substantially. Even just changing that little one thing. Fox, that's not. You get a bigger hit. Like with the Shaman, it actually gives you more versatility.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
do one that's like a big hit. If you have something like a Dragonite or a Salamence, like that's a good pick because you can use Fly and it's a one-turn thing instead of two. So that's just like a one-time big hit thing. But you should also have one where it's like you are utility, where I'm doing this because it'll help me in the long run in this game if it's set up or whatever. Whereas both of these, I think, are more just big hit.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you can do something cheeky with Thundurus, but
Mm-hmm.
I think it was.
I
more
had
of-
Thunderous last season, and I don't think
Are you
I see
doubting?
move to use.
Are you doubting
I
the
am.
ability to be cheeky with Thundurus?
Anyway, another thing which I'm not a fan of with this team is heavily reliant on Scarfers.
Yeah. And there's no.
While if it wants to go fast, relies on a Scarf. Sock wants to go fast, relies on a Scarf. Even Delphox to some extent relies on a Scarf.
And there's no.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's slow enough. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yes, speed would have definitely been something to add to this team because it is very just underwhelming in that regard.
Yeah.
Now I know Zach likes to build more bulky teams, and there's not a ton you can do with fast bulk in a draft in terms of getting stuff. There is stuff, but there's not a lot. So
Yeah, and bulk is more viable.
let's see what else. What else do I have? What other nitpicks do I have with this team?
Okay, one thing is key team. I may be a little bit wrong here, but defensive mons have that great recovery outside of like Sableye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Rotom, if it wants to heal up, it relies on like the raise or pain split. Doesn't have recovery unless it's like running rest hydration. Red Steel relies on rest. Get like burst recovery. Does Scramble get wish? I don't think it
I
does.
don't believe it does.
Mm-mm.
A really good wish user would have been nice. I mean, Kangaskhan gets it, but
Kangaskhan's really good.
But it's not like it's a decent wisher.
I
But
wouldn't.
it's not
I mean,
the best.
That's the way Zach likes to use Kangaskhan. So
Yeah, I mean,
if
it's
it works,
not bad.
if it works, it works. But other reliable recovery would have been.
Or synthesis.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
like Shaman likes to go offensive most of the time. I think
I don't know. The Shaman's really,
has a versatile move pool.
you know, it's one of the.
Yeah, I don't know. This team's just very like.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's not awful, but.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's gonna do overall.
Yeah. If we had an award for them, I feel like Zach would be in this.
Yeah.
One last thing that I've noticed is like Mega Sableye hates fairies. But to be honest, this team like it doesn't have to fairies. Sure, Ridge Steel can switch in, but what's it doing back? Ironhead for like 30%? Not much. I don't think it's a good Pokemon. Unless it's Alolan, but
I
it's
don't know
slow.
what you're talking about. I think Muck is the best Pokemon.
But
Can't be that bad.
I guess, but I don't team where you know that pretty much fairies will be coming against you every single week. Or
I helped.
reliable fairy killer. Not that great to your Formon.
I helped out Zach a little bit with his draft, and one of the things I told him.
Wonder it's 12th then.
No. I just gave him some advice. I didn't tell him what to pick. I just gave him some advice. And one of the things I said was make sure you have something to deal with fairies. And I'm very underwhelmed with what he picked to
chose
deal with fairies.
Well done him.
So, yeah, I gave him some advice. I didn't. First of all, my drafts aren't never that bad. All right, it's just the play that's really bad.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Even Grant was asking me stuff, and I was like, "Why are you asking me?" Grant was like, "Oh, you have an understanding of the way teams work." I was like, "That is not a bad point."
You're being team building from like a member of the OU Council now?
Yeah,
He's not a member of the OU Council.
Close enough.
he does like viability ranking.
Okay, are we done talking about Zach and trash talking Zach?
Yeah, we're.
And to trash talk the team, I actually think is worse.
All right, let's move on to number 11.
Me too.
Oh, it's the
This
good old
team.
Atlanta Bronzongs, coached by Flounch, with an 8.9 average, which this team, I think, is the worst team.
Can we?
Yeah,
This
I think-
team definitely.
Do we
I
all
think.
think this is the worst team? Which I think is funny
I
if we
do.
do, because it didn't rank at the bottom, but,
I mean,
you know.
it is the worst team.
Yeah.
Objectively.
Okay, can I have a lot to say about this team.
I just want to go one
Yeah.
real quick point, and then I'll turn it over to you. Pelipper is such a waste of a pick on this team. There literally is no reason to have it. It's just there for a meme, and I hate that fact. Okay, you can talk now.
That is one of the things. But other things is the bulk is Chestnut, maybe Pelipper, Dynasty, Escav.
Yeah.
Aside from Pelipper, reliable recovery. What do they all have? Exploitable 4x weaknesses aside from Spiritomb, but that gets countered by fairies. Much. He can always defensive Pokemon with 4x weaknesses are often rather exploitable.
Mm-hmm.
Because if that's the thing which counters him on, you can just go, oh, see this threat to me, I can just run HP Steel.
But what I will say as a counterpoint to that, both of their 4x weaknesses are like they don't share one, and it's also like if you want to run HP Steel and they have Chestnut, that's not going to help you out at all.
Yeah, with 4x weaknesses, you really have to have more than one for running against every. And so, the fact that you included it with 3 or 4 is really more helpful than like land. And then no other force can make this.
So, okay. The ones with the only one aside from Pelipper with reliable recovery is Chestnut. Recovery, or her, I don't know. But Chestnut's reliable recovery is Synthesis, which is weakened by the presence of Pelipper. Pelipper is just
Yeah, Pelipper just doesn't
Team.
work with this team at all.
aside from
Golduck
and
maybe
No.
Hurricane Oricario.
Yeah.
But
I guess
like
that's
those,
Escav.
yeah.
I've used
little bit.
Escav in
To
the
some
past.
extent.
I've used it multiple times. Underwhelming.
Yeah, I feel like even man.
It would have been great.
Yeah.
I mean,
Defog.
This team's super like, and it's like there's so many like Mamoswine is going to be on a Flange team because it's Flange. Golduck is now going to be on a Flange team because it's Flange. I'm not surprised Minior's taken because I feel like Minior's a meme and Flange is the embodiment of memes, but I just don't think they work. Maybe Flange will
He's got
prove
good
us all
offense.
wrong and he'll go off and have a great season, but
That is impossible.
yeah, I don't know how. Like, I realistically don't know how well Flange can do with this team because I don't think this team works at all.
Just improves if you get rid of Pelipper and replace it with pretty much any other bulky water.
Or you get a decent rain sweeper.
You're
This
saying
has got good
Golduck
offense.
Then
isn't-
it might work.
I
No, if it were any other coach with this team, I would make the suggestion to get rid of either Chestnut or Gengar for like Kingdra. But it's
go,
Flange,
like,
so it's not
Abatox.
happening. Yeah, the Bluetox, Ludicolo. I don't know, Omastar. Anything. I'm serious.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that just could make this team significantly better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he does have pretty to the feet.
Mhm. Yeah, I think there's some what is that? Anyway, I think there's some problems with
That was professionalism. That was.
nice. I just think that this team just doesn't. This looks to me like the team that someone who has never drafted a team before would draft, and there are people in Pikachu who have literally never drafted a team before, and they made a better team than this, in my opinion. So, just saying, I don't think this team should be above any team. But that's just
Yeah.
me and also all of us here. But clearly it's not the popular opinion because it didn't get the worst ranking.
Flange probably sabotaged it.
He probably put himself 1.
He did. He said it in the chat.
Okay, I think we're done talking about this team. So let's move on to number
Good
10.
team.
we have the Glasgow Glalie, absolutely the worst coach in the league, Murray.
We're still
Correct.
no
7.9 average, not terrible, but also not good.
Higher.
I'm trying to. I think I put this team. I actually think I put this team 10.
I don't remember what I put it.
So that's funny. I just,
I think I put myself 5th.
of course you
You
did.
suck.
Let's see. What do I think about this team? Well, so personally, I just don't like. See, I like to judge in two ways. One, how I think it looks on paper, and also how I see myself. Like, if I looked at this team, if I was like, I think this would be a good team to use for me, or if this is a team I'd be terrified to go up against. And the only reason why I wouldn't want to go up against this team is because it's just so fat. That's
Yeah.
the only thing I'd literally be worried about at all, which, granted, is not a good thing. But if I have a good special ground type or special fighting type, I'm not worried about Aggron and Regirock.
Well, I just feel like this team doesn't really have the offense. It's not bulky enough to solve and, all everything down. And it's break through a opposing like there's Calvi, there's Eevee, there's Araquanid, Araquanid and Rain, but beyond good, it's not gonna take through for bulky. So
Yeah.
Sure, but I've got my sweeper, I've got a setup sweeper, I've got wall breakers. I think I'm okay.
But my problem
It isn't that great, but it's like it's good enough.
I think the problem is, right, if I know if I ran this team, I'd get set up on every single week, because the only options I'd have is either bring in my really bulky thing or switch into something that can barely take a hit and definitely can't take 2 hits, that isn't going to be able to do much, maybe scare the thing out, but if it's already set up and it's faster than me now, then it's game over.
The only like really frail mons are Weavile and Jolteon. Monster, special defense, and decent defense. Xenon's got good HP, decent defense, great special defense. Pretty much same boat. Couple tank.
yeah.
You've got Eevee Light, and then Comfy. Comfy's comfy.
My biggest my thing is, like, if you bring Clefable and you bring Gliscor has good offense, which I'll give to it, but if it's not, it's also got that 4x ice weakness, which Hidden Power Ice is going to be run often. You also have a 4x weakness with Moltres, but that's whatever, and a 4x weakness with Weavile, but that's already frail, so you don't really need to run HP fighting on that.
And Royers, Stealth Rocks, they will be there constantly.
So I think, especially like Clefable can be hard hitting once it gets set up, but it's also very easy to set up on if, obviously, of course, you have the ability to run unaware, so that's not an issue always. But if you don't run unaware and they know you're not running unaware, that's a very big problem. Now, you can play mind games with that, of course. You can be like, yeah, they might think you have unaware when you don't, and they're too afraid to set up the whole game until they poison you and you don't take any damage, and then they're like, oh, well, I'm fine to set up.
I also feel like their game is very complete. Like, it gets rid of background recovery, it gets rid of a lot of your utility mons and your setup sweeps. Like,
Didn't one of you raise a very point? I do admit that was a problem that I spotted. Mainly because I needed a fire type, and I was looking through the tier 3 fire types, and I was like, I don't like any of these except Moltres. Just because, and I really like it. So, like, Defog was the sole reason I got Comfy, pretty much, and Trick Room.
Well,
for Trick Room,
I don't.
and
I
then
mean, I think you have a great defogger in Gliscor. I mean, you don't have to run it obviously, but
Yeah.
I like Gliscor as a
one
defogger.
defogger is a bit iffy.
Great if you don't want to run it as a defogger because it's
That's true.
Gliscor isn't a great defogger. That's like why I drafted it. I'm just saying that critical, but like I don't like when it's restricted to remover, because if that hazard remover wants to do other things, they can't because they have to remove hazards.
Okay, I know you mentioned Eviolite Duosion, but I still really don't think Duosion's that great of a pick. I mean, it's tier 4, so your options are limited anyway, but
But for that, it was between Duosion and Musharna, I think. Patrick took Nicholas to get, but that didn't happen. Basically, we were weighing up like pros and cons of each one. It was pretty close, but Duosion, just because presence, reason why it just has more offensive presence.
I think I think Duosion was definitely better than Musharna, but I mean overall I don't see Duosion coming very often, if at all.
Yeah, and I think that's fine
it's
for
a tier
tier
4.
4.
Well, yeah, no, I agree. I like to try to pick a tier 4 that I'm going to see myself at least bringing once. But Murray has a history, with drafting not fully evolved Pokemon with tier 4 and then never bringing them to a game. So
Good old fracture.
Frank?
I might.
The vent for entire season, and he did it so well.
I just think this team's just like it's not really that bad, but it's also just it's less than Zach's team, but it's actually I don't think it's less because I put Zach's team higher, but that's a whole nother story. This is not a team that I see going particularly well, or as well as you think it might go. That's how I put it.
Sure.
I think it'll have some problems, and I think that they will come out as you go along. And I think hazards, obviously rocks are going to be an issue, but I think you have enough removal to somewhat deal with them. And I've seen Comfey do a lot of things to tear apart teams. Unfortunately, my own. So I don't have any problem with Comfey there for defogging, but I just think that there's not a lot of really like standout things that every week I'm really worried about, except for maybe Mega Aggron.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I'm just like, oh, this team is one that I just have to make sure I don't get completely outstalled.
I also have the pressure stall option with Moltres, so
Yeah,
when in doubt, PP stall.
you got pressure stall twice.
But Weavile's not a pressure wall, whereas Moltres can.
It can be.
You can make it one.
Please run
Assault
AP
vest
Weavile.
Come on, Quinn special once on Weavile. That's all I ask. Okay, well, I think we're done bashing Murray. So we can move on.
We're never done.
You're actually we are never done. We're gonna move on to number 9, which is the Smogon Tryhards, coached by G-Mars. This is a 7.4 average.
Yeah.
G-Mars approached me with his team ideas, and I was a big fan of a lot of what he had in mind. He did want at one point Minior, and then he changed his mind.
Yeah.
Um,
I like a lot of what he did here, and I think I voted for him to be a lot higher than 9.
A bit higher. I think I put him like 6.
I had him like
I
high at
put him, like,
first,
10.
but then just like as looking at teams, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this team anymore. I don't look. I've always been this way. But when I see Z moves, right, I think you should try to get more versatility out of your Z move users, especially when you have two. I wouldn't pick both Heatran and Volcarona personally. Now, they're both
But
good
there are
Pokemon.
the only two like really good Z move users aside from maybe Bulu on this team,
Yeah.
and maybe I guess you want Continental Grunt.
But I wouldn't personally run two fire type Z move users because then there's overlap there where it's not,
Yeah.
and they're not. It's also they're both special attackers, and Volcarona is of course a setup Pokemon. So if you can set up and Z move, that's
Well,
fantastic.
I feel like Volcarona is really one of the best Z move users in the game, though.
Yeah, no, I think Volcarona is better.
Yeah.
Heatran, I'm less crazy about as a Z move
Yeah.
user.
I say it's just between Heatran and Bulu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second
I mean,
move.
if you really
Yeah.
want to go cheeky, right? If you want to really throw people off guard, you got that Z Mega Ampharos option. So you just instead of running Mega Ampharos, you run Z Ampharos
That is an option.
Yeah.
or Z Rotom. Why not run Z Rotom? Rotom is the best Pokemon on this team.
Z Holucha.
Z Holucha. Honestly, Z Holucha is not a bad option either. If you
Why would
But
you
it
run
doesn't get
Bulu?
Burden.
yeah, but like,
Mhm.
why run on Burden when you can run a Z move? Come on.
Yeah, Z Sky Attack.
Why run? Thing is, why run the good set?
Why run Holucha's
run
only good
Holucha?
set when you
Run
can run a Z move instead?
Why run
Easy.
Holucha when you can run
A bad mon.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway, I'm really glad that Grant took Klefki because if anybody can continue the legacy of the keys, it's going to be Grant.
Yeah.
But I did knock Grant some points because he didn't draft Mr. Mime. And he went this whole draft basically saying, I'm going to draft Mr. Mime by using every GIF with a Mr. Mime and then didn't draft Mr. Mime.
I think it's pretty obvious what he's doing. He's gonna free agent it the last possible week.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
and then he's gonna win finals. Final KO is gonna be Mr. Mime.
That's what I'm expecting
Uh,
from him.
Yeah.
Be glad that like he got because pretty much if you're getting a Tapu, the 3 Tapus, basically you're in contention for Holucha. You
Yeah.
don't go for Holucha until the late game,
mhm.
but the late draft.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of really good synergy options here too. Webs can help speed things down for some of his slower sweepers. He's got terrain with Hawlucha. He's got trick room options with Jellicent. He's got a lot of setup.
I love Skuntank as a defogger, which is nice.
I love it.
And obviously, Grant has been memeing, basically saying that people are going to bash him because he has so little hazard removal. Even though I agree, he doesn't really need it because
Plenty of hazard removal. I think
Volcarona is the thing that doesn't like hazards. Really, that's
you've
about
got
it.
3 hazard removers.
Okay, yeah, but
Yeah.
how many of them are going to be like really good?
All
Yeah,
of
them.
them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Klefki, Klefki runs it well.
I always forget that Klefki and Rotom got defog. I always forget.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rotom does it well, and Skuntank can do it decently.
yeah. What I like is that he drafted Volcarona, but he didn't subject himself to hazards every week because that's really his only weakness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was definitely smart drafting on his part.
Would we expect anything else from the OU man himself?
Oh, you not council member Gmars?
Yeah.
You know that Grant's gonna get annoyed at this when I say this. Lacking in speed when you speed, but all that speed requires setup. Requires setup to go fast. Holucha's already fast. Really good. You need Unburden for it. Then again, that's quite easy to set up, so that's kind of
Here's
For it
my
to be
count.
good,
Here's my
you set
counterpoint.
up.
Okay, how many yellow magic users does Grant have on this team?
4, I think.
And he has sticky webs.
50 million.
There you go. Boom. you know paralysis is coming. You
Click
know,
the young
look,
heal bell.
if Grant is smart, he switches in that Mega Ampharos before it's Mega Evolved, gets that
Get
static
static.
paralysis, and then Mega Evolves. Or just never Mega Evolves and just keep switching it in to get the static paralysis off.
That's a real play.
That's, hey, I know it's the real play. I've done it, but without the Mega part because I couldn't Mega Evolve it.
Yep. Oh. We ready to move on to the next team then?
I think so. Grant, I like
Okay.
your team. I don't know why it was put so low. I don't think I put it this low.
Yeah.
You deserve more respect. Anyway, next team, number 8, we have the Pittsburgh Prinplups by Lil Motrins, 7.3 average.
Yeah.
Here is an example of someone who has a dragon type, dragon flying type, and actually gave them their Z move. So credit for that.
Yeah. Really smart Z choices because obviously Mew does everything.
Mm-hmm.
And, fly Salmons.
Yeah. No, I think these are
Pretty much
two.
the only other Z mover which pick, like for most teams, would be Tornadus.
I mean, if you're
As
really
the utility of Mew and Salments
if
is
you're real, you go Z Lucario, but never do that ever. No, Mew and Salamence are this. I think of all the teams, this is the team with the best 2 Z move users.
I
Yeah.
think so.
In both leagues. I think these are 2 Z move users that are both very good and are gonna use those well.
Yeah.
I really like Mudsdale. I'm just gonna say that. I think Mudsdale's great. I always like Mudsdale.
Yeah. I think that Mudsdale has a lot riding on it though because it
Yes.
has a lot of rock weaknesses
course.
and Mudsdale is really only bulky resist aside from maybe Magneton, but Magneton does better things.
Mhm.
You can kind of counter that since you got Silvally running 2 Silvally types, but
Yeah.
Mudscale is a very reliable counter to rock types, and it's highly pressured by his on rock weakness.
Yes. That is, of course, the thing to love about the Silvally, which I'm finally happy that finally it's all the Silvally types. I've been wanting this since Silvally's introduction, and of course when I'm gone, it happens.
Yeah, we just
Sure.
Much.
Sure. I'm sure that's what it was.
Yeah.
Good old Silvally. I hope Silvally does well, and not like broken well, but just well enough that Silvally stays there.
I don't
Mhm.
see it doing broken well, but
Oh, I don't think
Yeah.
it'll do broken well. But
yeah.
this team's interesting.
Something I think.
I also really like
When I look at this team, I either go, "Oh, this is a great team," or "Oh, this team's a bit eh."
Yeah.
I keep flipping between the two.
I think I put
Think
this team
about-
higher than this. I think I put this team like I want to say in the top half.
Yeah.
Team
I can't
lower
remember.
than it is, but I'm like, this team for me is really hard to place.
Yeah, no, this is a harder team to
Some
place.
aspect, and it's really good. You look at some other aspects, and it's a bit eh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love his sand option because I'm not a fan of having a team be entirely based around weather. I feel like it really makes your team one-dimensional. But he has some good options without having it, be the core of his team.
Mhm. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And none of his mons really hindered by that weather either.
Mhm. I will say this though: why go one weather? You can go 2. Just saying. Just throwing that out there. Crazy idea in concept, and an even worse idea on paper. But
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily. Last season, I had both hail and sand, and then
okay, but those
and again, the sand was just Tarantar.
but those 2, I'm talking like we talking sun and rain type double weather. Now that's real weather. Anyway, I
Team
think
could benefit from is Muser because Mew wants to do so many things. It
Yeah.
can do everything.
Mhm.
It to do everything. Thoughts? And I feel like he's got a great Trick Room mons, being Gigalith, Mudsdale, and Magneton.
Hmm.
Maybe not Magneton, but definitely Gigalith, Mudsdale.
Yeah, his lower
Hitting low,
choice is really smart.
basically great mons.
Yeah.
But having your Trick Room mode being restricted to being set up by Mew,
Yeah, I agree with that.
rocks are annoying. He's got plenty of defoggers, but then again, those defoggers are the ones weak to rocks, aside from Silvally and Mew.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with Silvally too. Yeah, you can run Silvally to be resistant to rocks, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it's common that it is run resistant to rocks.
Like Steel's the most common Silvally, like
Yeah, no,
in
that's and
normal play.
I think that's fine. But what if there's a week where you don't need where you one need to run, I don't know, a fire or a flying Silvally because he doesn't have a fire type.
Oh, I did not notice that. No, but
So-
he's got Heat Wave. I think he'll be fine
Yeah,
in that
but if
department.
there's a week where a fire type's really good and he needs a fire type and he needs to run fire Silvally, well then that's another weakness you're adding to rocks. And if you're running defog on that, well that's a little bit problematic. So there are some problems with the team, but overall I think this is a pretty good team, but I think rocks will be a bit of an issue at times. And I think it's definitely Mudsdale's job to make sure rocks aren't a problem and the rock types are gone. But not
Apparently
having
as well in the offensive department.
yeah, and not having other than potentially Silvally, a very reliable way to get rid of it that isn't weak to them is always a problem.
So reliable defogger.
Yeah, I expect Steel Silvally to be run a lot.
Too big a fan of Lantern. You want your bulk. I'm going. There's going to be so many instances during this one. I'm going to be hypocritical and needs this when my team doesn't have it. But having a bulky water with recovery.
One thing I will give to Lantern is that it's very nice when you have both Tornadus and Mega Aerodactyl that don't like electric types, so that you can have a water type that does not care if you have an electric type at all.
You also have water absorb if you want.
Yeah, exactly.
For Aerodactyl, Mudsdale.
Yeah, but
it's a decent type, but
but at the same time, it doesn't have that recovery. So you can switch into those things and help you in that way with recovery, but you also have to pick which one you want to run. Which, if you are in one week where someone has a really good water type and a really good electric type, that could be a problem. And you have to make sure you build your team around that, and you don't get, screwed over because you ran water absorb and you should have run volt absorb. But I don't have a problem with Lantern. I think Lantern's fine. To me, there's no one pick on this team that I'm really I don't like this pick at all.
Yeah.
I think this team has just solid picks overall. So that's my take. But I think we're good on this team. Does anybody have any closing thoughts?
Mm-mm.
All right.
No.
Let's move on to number 7, which is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aubrey's team, 6.8 average. This team, what I will say, I want to open this up by saying, at the first 2 picks, I thought I was going to really hate this team overall. And then, as it went on, I just kind of started to go, this team's just whatever by the end. It's still good, I think. Mega Venusaur and Zygarde is going to be fun, I think.
I feel like the first 3 are all good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Volcanion works really, really well with.
Yeah, I think Volcanine's a good pick too. But the first 2 picks, I was like, I really don't like the way this draft is going. and I'm glad I don't have to face this.
He picked Fortress, and then for hazard control, very reliant on Fortress. Because for defogging, well, hazard removal, what are your other options? Weak to it and doesn't have recovery.
Claydol.
Which,
Claydol.
yeah, Claydol.
Claydol's. Hey, I like Claydol as a hazard removal.
I say I prefer Claydol over Fortress.
Yeah, I think Claydol's a better hazard remover anyway.
Yeah. I
Having-
don't like that he chose Slowbro as one of his walls.
It would have been like if, like another mon would have been better. I think just having Slowking here.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've got plenty of physical bulk. You've got Kofag, you've got Venusaur, and Kabalion, and bad spinny thing.
That spinny thing, yes.
That's what I'm calling it, because that is what it is.
You know, I think Umbreon would have been a really good wall on his team right there instead of Slowbro.
Actually, yeah.
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 One thing I like about this team is it has sun and it has the option to run weather, but this team 100% does not need weather to be good. It will help it.
It's kind of because its weather isn't that strong.
Yeah, well that's one of the reasons why I think sun is good, because I think you can build around sun a lot more without having to rely on sun, whereas something like rain, I feel like if you go rain, you kind of have to go all in, or more so in than you do have to with sun.
Yeah, and that's another, like I was saying, I feel like weather complements teams, but teams that are built around weather don't usually do well in league format because it's so easy to counter them.
Mm-hmm.
One thing to note is in speed.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a single mon over. Would be very reliant on like DD Zygarde or Scarf Kabalion, Scarf Volcanion.
What is
Scarf?
What is Helios speed?
109.
109, I think.
Okay.
It's sub 110.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew it was close, but I couldn't remember what it was exactly. Because I used it once in that good old double weather season.
Yeah.
I've said hazard control is bad on this team. It is bad on this team.
Yeah, it's not
That's a. I'd
especially like setting up
like
hazards.
Caroline on it. I'm gonna say that again.
Yeah.
When you're reliant on a mon which has pretty much zero any offensive presence, is if it dies.
Mhm.
And even then, its explosion isn't really that strong.
Well, right.
Um.
Okay.
Any other?
Everyone has to say on it.
No, I'm good with this team.
Yeah.
The spinny thing is bad.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Let's move on to number 6, the top half. We've made it finally. We have the Belgian Red Darmanitan, or Francesco, with a 6.2 average. This is a team.
Yeah.
By definition, yes.
I'm pretty sure I put this team a lot lower, but
I think I put it lower.
all the teams are like meshing because they were all so close together. Like I could have a team that at one moment I was like, this is the third best team. The next one I was like, this is like 9. So I don't quite remember. Do you remember which Mega Lottie that is?
Latias.
Latias, right? That's what I thought it was.
Latios comes in later.
Yeah. This is like Murray said with the double weather. This is a double weather. I'm interested in seeing how it works.
Thing is, though, he hasn't. Sure, Ninetales is nice, but I don't feel like this is a good team for Ninetales.
Yeah, no, I think
Like,
that
Veil is never a bad thing.
yeah, but Ninetales needs
It's
to
just
be
here.
more built around because I feel like this works better with sand than it does with hail.
The thing is, though, with Veil is pretty much just by itself the move. Ninetales is basically Aurora Veil, essentially.
Yeah.
Veil is never a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, this team advantage of Aurora Veil that well. Bulky
Yeah.
enough to set up already. Needs sand if it wants to set up. And you just have a slow drill.
Mm-hmm.
Trantar is really the one on here. Where it's one of maybe 2 mons actually helping it out. But then again, it's much better if it's Mega Trantar because then it can actually outspeed some more stuff. So, another one really where I think it needs help. Veil, I don't think is that important.
Yeah, I mean, there's
No.
also the part of like maybe you just get it so no one else can have it, and you just try to utilize
Yeah.
it in that way. But also, it's just like it just feels like it was shoehorned into this team because he was like, oh wait, Ninetales is still here and Aurora Veil's good. Let me take it.
That's his latter mons, I'm not really that big of a fan.
Yeah, I don't remember what order all the picks were made in. I can't remember if Tyranitar was taken before or after Ninetales, but
I think it went. I think the 5. I know. I think it just went first 6. I think he might have just gone in order.
okay. Yeah, because I just think that's such a weird team to work with Ninetales, but
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes. It's there. Yeah.
The first 3 in Suicune, Ditto, very scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bit. Just in week 1, and
hmm Does
to me it's just a bit.
does Lurantis get hazard removal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, default.
That's what I thought, but I couldn't remember.
I'm pretty sure Aubrey brought this up, like just when we were discussing this. Doesn't like how there are 2 Sash Reliant Mons on the team.
Yeah. It's
Pretty sure Iselko gets Overcoat.
No. No.
Does it not? I thought
It's
it did.
like hydration, sticky hold, and unburden.
Never mind. Mute point.
Okay.
What
I just think it's
Iselko's
like
abilities are.
it's just like a weird combo with both Galvantula and Isilgor. I don't know why you'd need both of them.
Yeah.
I'm also not a big fan of Galvantula anyway, especially as
Yeah.
like as an electric type. I just think it's really underwhelming.
Get it for webs.
Yeah.
You don't. It's basically a bonus. It's just like, here you go, have an iffy electric type,
I really
but
think
it gets
it's-
webs.
Yeah, I think it's It's never an electric. When I'm thinking like I need an electric type, Galvantula is never like something that comes to mind. I'm just like, oh, I need a sticky web user. Oh, Galvantula. So I
You
mean,
think of electric type, you think like Jolteon, Raikou, Koko, stuff like that.
yeah. I mean, you have Ditto, so if the other team has a fast electric type or a good electric type, you can get it that way. But
So electric types aren't that great against this team.
yeah,
Good, but Swallow's frail enough as is, so you don't need an electric type there. So like, the only electric type is Suicune.
yeah.
You're stuck with Galvantula as your electric type.
I mean, stuck. I mean, there's still free agency, but yeah, it's not an electric type.
I
I'm
think
crazy
you're
about.
stuck.
Yeah, true. I don't know. I think this team's just very. I like Alex. I like the beginning of the draft. Galvantula Selgor to me is where I'm really confused. And then Ditto's nice. Swallow can be pretty good. I think this team has a lot of good like Pokemon on it, but I just think there's just questions
Choose
overall.
on synergy.
Yeah. God, Lurantis's legs just bother me. I really don't like them.
They're on pajamas, mate.
You like the bacon?
I guess. Yeah, I
Nice. That's vegan bacon right there.
that's my takeaway from this team. I don't like Lurantis's legs.
Yeah.
What about Magmortar?
Magmortar's whatever. I'm not crazy about it. I never have been.
For Magmortar.
I think it's like not fun. It really is development.
Yeah. I don't want to turn this into roasting Pokemon, but Magmortar's lips also anger me. But that's whatever.
So now, are we going to get onto you don't like hair?
I have no problems with any hair on any Pokemon. All right. Especially none of these two.
What about a low Piglet? Or a low
I don't have a problem with that. Honestly, I really don't. So that's I think the point I want to end off on this team. Are we good to move on?
Yeah.
Let's go to number 5, which is the Toronto Swa Blue Jays, coached by Cap. I really love Cap's first 3 picks. First thing I'm going to say. I think those first 3 picks are awesome.
First 3 picks work extremely well together.
Yeah.
I like...
You got the special offense, you got the bulk, you got the physical offense, you got...
And you have bulk in between with Chomp and Gardevoir in their own way. Not the best bulk, obviously, but Garchomp's great with bulk.
Guardy, not so much.
Yeah. We got that ugly cat, Alolan Persian, but we don't need to talk about that. Two Alola Pokemon. Hold up. Marowak and Persian. I'm a fan. I like the tier 2 picks as well. I think they're good Pokemon.
I like the tier 4.
Yeah.
I like the tier 2, like the tier 4, like the tier 1.
I don't
Yeah.
think there's any like really awful picks here. I think I put this team pretty high. I mean, it's 5 overall.
Is this good
Yeah.
on this team?
Yeah.
I feel like a more offensive dark type would have been better here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
That's a good
like,
point.
kind of Persian is the fact that it gets access to see parting shot, but
But it's not
a
as user.
Yeah, fast
So,
and
like,
direct
We
would've
went
been
with
good.
Delos.
Yeah, I think the only issue I see is rely on the, top row a lot, and that's a little predictable. I don't see, like, Miltank or Trigonal coming this super frequently, especially when, those first 6 are good.
I think Cap. I am excited to see again with like a team fully drafted by Cap. And I am really happy with those first 3 picks. I wish I could pick those 3 Pokemon.
I'm excited to see how he uses Cryogonal.
Yes.
Because with the right adjustment in Eevee, it can beat like most things.
Yeah.
I love it.
Cryogonal is
Deceptively good. You wouldn't think so with a typing like that, and its stats, like its defense.
I'm hyped to see you.
get away from a scissor. You're fine.
It's so good.
Yeah, no, Cryogonals. That's such a. It's one of those Pokemon that's so like outside of Draft League. I think it's so forgettable. Like I forget sometimes that it exists.
I never forget.
Is probably tier 4 ice type. People wait until tier 4 to get their ice type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you've already got Hail on your team.
Yeah.
For ice type.
Very good because it's so generally forgettable. People just don't prep for it.
I've definitely gotten beat down by a Cryogonal before.
Yeah.
You have, because I've drafted it most times. When I needed tier 4 ice type, and just like, I Cryogonal.
Yeah. I mean, you see it on someone else's team. Like, hey, I really need to bring counter this. You don't. You're going to solve or modify it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the wall is probably better.
Yeah. I think I'm done with this team. I really like it.
Come here.
I think
It's
it's
a good team.
it's just a good team. That's really all I have to say. Good job, Cap. You drafted well. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Way to go, Cap.
Cap's time in the big leagues have
Oscar isn't anything superbly outstanding about it, but it's good in all areas.
yeah, I agree.
Excel in any one area, but excel absurdly.
This is the kind of team that I see just because I think Cap's a good enough coach that he can just use this team really well, and I think it'll help him this season. I think he'll do pretty well just because this team is just solid.
Good.
Yeah. But I think that's this that I can't talk. That's that for this team. So let's move on. It's number 4. We're at the big slides now. Ooh. Number 4 is Pierce with the South Dairy Scissors with a 4.7 average. I feel like Pierce is top 4 every season.
Yeah. He doesn't have Tapu
Back
Fini
in
Ferrothorn this time.
True. Good point.
Yeah.
He has strayed away from his friends.
Yeah.
And here, once again,
Piloswine. He always has Piloswine.
another example of some type with a Z move. Just want to make that very
Pay
clear.
attention, Pikachu League.
What a novel concept.
Oh man.
Okay.
Honestly, this looks like a Team Joseph would draft.
Yeah.
Maybe
not Piloswine, but this definitely looks like a Joseph team.
Yeah. I love so much that he put the Z move on Hoopa, because Hoopa is excellent as a Z move user.
Yeah.
Aside from Dragonite, what else is really using the Z move?
Yeah.
I guess he's Zapdos.
What nice using that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Zapdos is just such a good defensive thing that oftentimes you wouldn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he's got such good synergy between all of his typings. It works so well.
Yeah, this is a good team. I really like this team. If I'm calling it a Joseph team, that's a pretty good compliment. So.
Yeah.
Well, then again, a Joseph team is just a pretty good team with an Arcanine on it.
And Empoleon.
Yeah.
And Empoleon.
But no,
That's a good team.
got that
Yeah.
got that Drapion. You know I love Drapion.
For season 4, Quinn. No, it's
None of
it's
us
fun.
remember that story.
Um,
Forget.
So he's got a little bit of a rock weakness. I feel like he has sufficient defoggers to account for that.
yeah,
He's got pretty much two of the best defoggers, I
Yeah.
think.
He's got Empoleon, which is the best debugger. And then
Yeah.
The best.
And
That does
Master,
fair,
I think.
but
Masquerade is really underrated as a utility mon. It's
Yeah.
got like two-turn webs, intimidate, defog.
Yeah. Well,
got some nice
Elwyn could
movement.
actually be pretty fun for this team.
Yeah.
Team we don't like. So there's like no purpose here.
Uh,
well,
What's Spencer doing?
setting up rocks. Sweeping.
Like so many
swords
other
here.
good rockers in tier 4.
it's scary.
What? I don't know.
I think the only pick I don't like is Cradilly.
Just intimidation.
Oh, I think
Yeah,
Cradilly.
I don't much like Cradilly
Yeah,
either.
I think Cradilly's
Glad someone can relate.
a little bit
Yeah,
bigger.
I don't think it has the bulk it needs to go well without, infestation dropping and setting up.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have any oomph offensively. And its
So, like-
typing is pretty okay.
I feel like the way to improve this team, the way to improve it, is to a different rock or grass type. Change Pincer to you didn't get
You could. I mean,
Credulity.
is what tier's Lycanroc Midnight? Is that 3 or is that 4?
Is tier 4.
Or,
Midday
yeah.
tier 3.
Okay. So if you can find a good grass type, you could always do that if that's something you feel like doing.
I mean, I will have to have a look to see what grass types are even left in tier 3. I'm pretty sure Gorgeist is there.
Yeah, I don't think Gorgeist was taken.
Yeah, that'd be good, because it doesn't have a strong ghost. Oh, never mind.
Doesn't have a strong ghost. Praises Hoopa before. Okay.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah. Walking faster than them.
Hoopa doesn't exist.
Well, it does. I mean, it can disappear like that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just a solid team. I like it a lot. I think it'll do pretty well.
Sir.
I think that's the general consensus here.
Yeah.
So let's move
I
on.
put him second, I think.
I don't remember where I put
I
some.
think I put him like 3rd.
I know who I put number 1. That's all. That's what I remember. And who
Yeah,
I
I
put number 12.
I know my top 2. And this was the one we're about to move on to is my number 1.
Okay.
I'm biased on it.
Number
so.
3. Oh, I know you're biased towards this. Number 3, we have
Towards this.
the Minnesota Sea Kings. Jake, Calling Crown, 86's team, 4.7 average. I know I've been saying the averages for all of them, but they're on the screen. You can read them.
The average is 4.7, everyone.
Yeah. So this is
4.7. Okay.
So
Take
4.7
note.
is also the average for Pierce's team. So just want to understand how we break ties.
So basically, for whenever we have the same averages,
We decide which one we
what
like
I did
more.
was I had a look at the individual ballots and I saw what Jake and Pierce themselves as. I'm not sure if it's the same. Yeah, it's the same case with the top 2 as well. The top 2 have the same average as well. So how they voted their own team. Which of their own team lower would get the higher place because it means that other people thought their team was better.
Yes.
Bias. And Jake put himself 10th.
Oh, really?
He put himself 10th, and I'm just like, hello? This is the
Really?
best team. He put himself 10th, and then and Pierce put himself 5th.
All right, Murray, you obviously helped out with this team, so I got a question.
I- Uh-huh.
Why is Victory Bell there?
Done, fast. Basically, he wanted a chlorophyller. I meant, is one of the best low-tier chlorophyllers.
Okay.
Alright, is Vileplume available?
was available, but I pitched it to Jake, and he said he wasn't a fan of it.
Victory
So-
Bell is better probably as a Sun Sweeper, because it can go mixed, and it gets like Weather Ball.
Nice
Vileplume's
form
just better
punch.
in general, I think.
Yeah.
Basically, just wanted I'll chuck my Chlorophyll Sweeper into tier 4. It'll be fine.
Oh wait, no, Vileplume's never mind.
Yeah, Valplume's
Yeah.
tier 3. But,
Okay, but still, he could have.
yeah.
It might have led to a
I'm going
better
to gush
overall
over this
team.
team for a bit. So first of all, I'm going to say things which I'm responsible for.
Oh, of
Ugh.
course you are. Oh,
You see the strong trick removal. You got Snorlax, you got Torkoal, you got Aromatisse, you got Mons. A decent trick removal.
Girder. You
Um,
think Girder's not good?
Oh, Girder's great.
Girder is great.
Girder's the best thing on this team. Literally, this team would not be this high if Girder was not on this team.
Yeah.
Especially since
Also-
Murray helped with it. If I knew how much influence Murray had on this team, this team would not be number 3.
Sigilith as well complements this team pretty
I
well
love Sigalith.
because it is quite weak to rocks. But the thing is, though, Sigilith has Magic Guard, so it doesn't care about rocks.
Yep.
The Sigalith's just a great mon in general.
Yeah,
It goes
slap-
unnoticed a lot.
His first 3 picks, all of those are like
Here's what I want to say.
he managed to get all 3.
Kieran
Oh.
Black got drafted here. Huh, interesting.
Pikachu, take a good look. This is what a good one looks like.
Oh, I have some other things that when Pikachu is recorded, it hasn't been recorded yet.
Oh,
But when it's recorded, I have some things to say. But we'll get there.
I don't.
All right.
and just Milotic isn't hindered too much by the sun.
I mean, if it was offensive or more offensive than it is, then it would be. But it's not, so it doesn't really matter.
Milotic is the best water type in the sun, aside from like Volcanion.
Can I just say? I just want to point this out real quick. How come it looks like Mega Houndoom has a tooth sticking out? And I'm pretty sure it's just like fur under his neck. But it totally looks like a snaggletooth.
It's a goatee.
With his one tooth.
Anyway, that's all, that was the only thing I really wanted to say about Mega Houndoom.
But needs. I just love this team.
Gone now.
I like Mega Houndoom, especially with Torkoal. That'll be fun to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any real like major complaints with this team. Let's see. I've used some stuff on this team. I've used Landorus and I've used Aromatisse, and I think they're both good. I mean, Landorus is one of the best Pokemon in the game, so
Yeah. That entire top row is 3 of the best
yeah.
Pokemon
I don't
in the
know.
game.
I don't know how anybody got all 3 of those on one team.
Yeah.
And he didn't have
Kieran Black made it to like round 3.
what number pick was he?
7th. He was right before me.
Oh man.
It's then Gliscor, then
Eevee-
Clefable, then Jirachi.
Eevee, I got some problems. I got some problems with that.
Oh,
Was Kieran Black round 3?
round 3 or 4. I can't remember if he got
It was
Milotic
round
or...
4.
Oh.
He might have gone Milotic first because I told him that I was getting Araquanid, so he thought he was safe with Milotic. So,
Oh, that is.
like that, I don't know.
That's tragic. Shout out to Jake,
Oh.
honestly, for getting all 3 of those. That's
So,
that's really all I need to say. If you can get all 3 of those and you have that late of a pick,
Yeah.
so Snorlax is insane with Gluttony. Insane.
yeah.
Doubles at all, you know how insane it is. Less Pokemon which you can attack on it at one time. And come on, right there. Just avoid knockoff, you're fine.
Yeah.
Love this team.
Yeah, this is a good team. I like this team. So I think we're good to move on to number 2.
Yeah.
Just want to look at this team more and more. It's great.
Too bad. We're moving on. Number 2, obviously Murray spoiled that there was a tie, so it's going to be exciting to see who actually gets the number 1 spot. But number 2, we have the Chicago Cyndaquils. Good old Nad, 4.4 average. Nad picked Type Null. That's all that needs to be said.
All instantly gets you top tier team.
Type Null was taken pretty.
It was with him last.
It was within. I think,
No, last 4 rounds.
Yeah.
Because I think he picked Zard last.
I love Type Null because Type Null is one of the best tier 3 Pokemon in my opinion.
Yeah.
On the game.
One of the best Eevee users in my opinion.
One of the best
Best
Pokemon
Eevee.
ever conceived by Game Freak.
Yeah, it's really good, and I think the fact that Sneasel and Type Null and Infernape and Latios and Coco are on this team, this looks like a team I would draft.
Yeah.
Honestly, so I like it. I've had way too many things on this team. It's actually kind of scary.
And much a very ideal offensive team, like a defensive backbone, but it's primarily offense.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about this team is that it feels a little knockoff weak. Like, this one is spam knock and do a pretty hard gen.
Yeah.
But I really like a lot of the synergy, especially with those early picks.
Yeah. I hope we see some Nature's Madness. I would love to see some Nature's Madness.
No.
I'd like to see some
Guardian of Alola.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crush that Pokemon with the fist of God.
Just
Yeah.
you just come on in and someone's like, I'm gonna bring out Clefable, Murray, and Tapu Koko just says no.
Crushes it into the ground.
But it doesn't kill it, so it's fine.
Yeah. The only thing I wish he'd chosen Infernape as one of his Zemons, but I can't knock him for choosing Coco and Latios.
Yeah, I agree.
He was consulting me about Vizimons. He was originally going to pick Infernape as one of them,
Yeah.
as well as Latios, and then I'm like, hold on. You have
Coco?
Coco, but you're not making it a Zemon? Hold on. Coco is a Zemon. Also, take note, Pikachu. Coco is a good Zemon.
Yeah.
But yeah,
A Z Infernape. Run that.
so like really good. But
Or like Z close combat.
Ooh, yeah. Z close combat.
one thing, I only really have one gripe with this team, and I'm not sure if it counts, and that's often not meant like his hazard removers. They don't want to run default.
Yeah.
Coco, it wants U-turn, T-Bolt, Dazzling Gleam, Taunt, Heat Ray. It's got so many options. Defog's just one of them lower down the list. Zard can either go as first like offensive Will-O-Wisp set or its offensive DD set. 3 attacks. None of those good sets run default.
I feel like Latios is gonna
Amazing.
end up having it a lot, and then Latios should not have it a lot.
I mean, like, it's a good defogger, but
Yeah, Scyther's gonna probably have it a lot too. Which is a whole nother problem because it's, very weak to rocks.
your main defogger should have a 4 times weakness to rock.
Man, if Type Null only had that defog,
It would be broken.
it would be tier 2, 100%.
Yeah.
No, it would be banned.
It wouldn't be
because
banned. It's
it'd
not
be-
that good.
Nah, hello, yes it is. You pair it with a Pursuitmon, you've won.
I mean, remember when Lando T got defog and everyone thought it would get banned?
That's because Lando T can all.
But this is Type Null.
That's the thing. Type Null is a little bit one-dimensional.
Well, yeah, but
But
it's
Lando
fantastic.
is very versatile, good at many things. Adding default to the list of things you can do
Yeah.
is not a thing you ban Pokemon for.
That has nothing to do with this team, though. We're getting sidetracked.
Yeah.
Null's best one in the game.
I do think this is a good team, and I'm glad that somebody took Type Null in A before I pulled my hair out.
Wait, did anyone in Pikachu take Type Null?
I can't remember. I don't think so.
Probably not.
And in
You kept
Pikachu,
trying to get me to
Pikachu-
do it, and I was just like, I don't know if
They,
it
they don't
works.
have the
They don't.
insight that Quinn has.
They don't have the history. They haven't seen Type Null in use the way that we have.
I've never seen
I-
Type Null in use.
You've never Type Null was who used Type Null first? Was it Jake or was it Nad?
Jake used it pretty well one
Yeah,
season.
yeah. It was. I saw Jake use it, and I was like, I'm interested in this. I like the way this thing looks.
Yeah, I know you got it. I didn't know what you did with it though.
What
You
game?
peek under the helmet.
What was the game? I don't remember. It was I was against a Mega Lottie. I think a Mega Latios. And it got a D dance up. And I had Type Null in, and Reg was like, "Oh, yep, you just went from a win to a loss. I took like 30%."
You're just like, well,
I was like, "Yeah, no, I definitely lost this game." That was a fun win.
did you end up losing that game, or did you win?
No, I won.
Quinn, wild.
Yeah, a Quinn win. Absolutely
Now we're
insane.
gonna move on to the best team.
We are gonna move on to the best team. My opinion is the best team.
I voted
I
it
put this.
first.
This is my favorite team. It is
Yeah.
Patrick. Atlanta Altarias. 4.4 average, obviously, we mentioned he voted himself lower than
Yeah.
what Nad voted himself.
So, something interesting with this, just to show how close we are. I think what was
I think
is
Patrick voted
Nad
himself like
didn't
6th, and Nad was 5th.
I think it was something like that. It was like
Yeah.
one of them voted themselves 6th, and then
The other was
lower.
Yeah.
That's how close the
So-
teams are.
Yeah. So the big thing here is Mega Mawile. First season that it was done in, first pick in, I think both leagues.
Yes.
It was like I think it was like third pick in
Okay.
Pikachu.
Yeah, but it's so good. You know, it forces a lot of 50-50s.
hmm
Can't have Megearnut. Might as well take the
Yeah, you might as well take the other
next
one.
best one.
Yeah.
Can't pick regular Mawile to counter McGearn. Okay, I'll just take Mega Mawile instead.
Yeah.
How often do you think he's gonna bring regular Maul?
Literally never. No,
No, he has to.
yeah,
I think he's going to bring it once
Yeah.
just because we called it out.
well,
just for the
Patrick's
meme.
had regular Mawile in the past. I lost to Mawile.
And he used it amazingly
Yeah.
well.
Regular Mawile in
Also,
the right
the team has a great
circumstances
trick room.
is good.
Yeah. It just
So,
all three of these first picks are, top-notch league draft
picks.
ones.
the only
Yeah.
pick where I'm not too huge a fan of is Frostlass, but that's just because I don't like Frostlass. I can never use it well.
Oh, I love Frostlass.
All the other picks are amazing.
Yeah, no, it's just such a solid team.
Yeah.
Best wish casters in the game,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah,
Alomoa.
but like I just
He's
want
got
to
an amazing trick room mode.
I
He's
want
got a
to
really good trick room, yeah.
I want to mention this. 4.4 is number 1 overall.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous.
I think like initially he was quite a bit higher. I think it was like 3 point something.
I think at one point it was 3.3, 3.2, something like that.
And all the Pikachu people voted.
Yeah.
And it went downhill.
Patrick has some haters sabotaging.
I'm pretty sure someone put him 12. And I'm just like, how?
No, yes, someone did. I think the return of Patrick.
Oh,
It just goes
majestic.
to show
Yeah.
people
I've-
in the other
I've
league.
set very high expectations for Patrick. Patrick's already aware of that, so.
Yeah, this
It's
is
just good. You can't do anything wrong.
Well, he definitely can.
You can't.
But but
he won't.
Patrick's good enough to not.
Patrick will play perfectly every match. Go 6-0 undefeated every week.
Right.
And then lose round 1 of playoffs.
Ooh,
That's how it's
Bold
done.
predictions.
that's a really bold prediction.
Bold prediction.
But I like
he will
it.
6-0 every match and then lose the first round of playoffs.
And it'll be 2 6-0s first round of playoffs.
I want to say he's gonna have no more than 1 loss and then lose first round of playoffs. That's my bold prediction.
That's wild.
It happened.
I'm not basing that off of anything, but
That's a
I
very
want-
bold prediction.
I would love to see that
Happened
happen.
a lot. It's happened quite a bit to me, where I've gotten. And then I'm just going to round 1 of playoffs, get blown
You're
back.
horrible.
and it's like,
you're
oh,
you're really bad in the playoffs, Murray, and it's kind of funny.
I'm really good regular season, and then as soon as I get into playoffs, oh, well, guess I'm out. Bye.
Guess I'll just
It's a shame your team this season is so bad.
yeah. You may not even make
I'm
playoffs.
see the season is to be bad in my regular season
Yeah, but you're-
playoffs, so I'm not bad in playoffs.
yeah, but if you're bad in the oh yeah, 'cause you won't be in playoffs.
Anyway,
Okay.
Yeah, Patrick, good job. You drafted well. I like your team. I think we all like your team.
yeah.
We love you,
Yes.
Patrick. Please stay in the league.
Don't leave us again, Patrick.
Yeah, please don't
Stay
leave
here
us
forever.
You can never leave. You can never return to your family.
Again. Yeah.
Fate of Ireland.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I think we're good here.
I'm gonna wrap up Eevee.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we're gonna wrap up Eevee. So that's it for Eevee.
Yeah.
Good job, Eevee. I'm proud of you guys.
Let's
Speak
go.
to another
Eevee.
video.
What'd you
Yeah.
say?
Pikachu gonna be another video. We're just gonna.
It's gonna be another
5
video.
hours
It's
long.
gonna be another video.
Yeah, we have to end it with Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang.